We are live.
Hello, every pony, and welcome to CloudsDale Cafe, where friendship is always on the menu. I know that sounds cheesy, but whatever. That's all we could come up with. I am going to be your host, CallMeDash, and your co-hosts, as will usually be, are going to be Tommy, who you might know as TopNotchBrony.
Hello.
Nick, who is also known as Sir Fancy Face, but we all call him Nick.
Great.
And our on and off co-host is Cinnamon Top, who you might know as STEAMPUNK Scootaloo.
I am not important. Please do not mind me.
And we usually have a co-host who goes by Ragin Pinkie Pie, but unfortunately today's his birthday and he's probably out getting drunk as fuck. Anyways, we have a special guest just to start out. We have ROBcake53, who, as you should know, wrote My Little Dashie, the fan fiction.
Should know.
And, yeah. And, well, he's known as Alex, so we're going to call him Alex.
Nice.
Rock works. Either way.
Oh, good. So, do we want to
introduce yourselves?
Do we want to get to, talking about ourselves before we talk about our guest? Say, starting off with you, Dash?
Okay, fine. Well, I'm CallMeDash. I have written, one fan fiction, and that's about it. It's only 3 chapters. But, yeah, I'm not important at all. I'm 15, I'm a guy, I live in Texas, and that's about it.
Oh, bit of banter. Podcast banter.
I just might kill you after this.
Moving on. Alright, I guess I'll go next.
How about you introduce yourself?
I just was about to. Alright, moving on. Okay, so how's it going? My name's Tommy, or TopNotchBrony, and I'm 15. I'm from Australia, and I make PMVs. Not much more to me, and Rainbow Dash's best pony.
Fuck yes.
Alright, Ragin isn't here, so Nick, how about you tell us? Fair enough. Simon, you want to tell us a quick little bit about yourselves?
Okay. Well, I'm Cinnamon Top, mod of STEAMPUNK. I'm a bit of an artist. Used to work on a bunch of podcasts, like Brony Talk, and did a short-lived podcast of Tumblr Podcasters, and basically I just screw around and do stuff.
And he is our number one advisor. He is our Spike.
Oh.
Yep. I'm also Rainbow Dash.
Yeah. Alright, so...
I love Rainbow Dash in here. But anyways, now that we've gotten our introductions out of the way, and have probably thoroughly annoyed Alex with our selfishness, let's get to the interview.
I'm never annoyed.
Yep. Quick thing before we start our interview. To anyone who is in the live stream chat, please come up with your own questions, because we will be asking you guys for questions after we do our own questions. So, think of something and you can ask them, and it will be spectacular.
And since Ragin isn't here, I will be taking his first question. So someone else can take his second one.
Righto.
So,
Okay.
first of all, Alex, when did you become a brony?
I became a brony back in May of 2011.
Nice.
How did that happen?
Yeah, basically what happened was a friend of mine one day just started spamming the living hell out of MLP comics and pictures and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this? So he links me to some episodes and I start watching them. So yeah, that's pretty much how it started. I watched all the episodes in one night.
Well, you're a veteran.
That's exactly what I did. Just every single one.
May of 2011. You are a goddamn veteran. All right, so
Almost. I consider veterans the ones that started it from the early beginning days, like October, November of 2010, December, January, that era.
all right.
My veterans are the one who started at G1.
Awesome.
One moment before we move on with the questions. Ragin has just come online, so now it's a matter of time before he joins into the call.
That's great, but let's screw around. I'll go for the next question. Who's best pony?
Well, this isn't to be mixed with who's my favorite, but best pony is Derpy.
Ooh. Now, who's your favorite?
Because Derpy is part of the growth of our fandom, so she's just, in my eyes, she's always the best pony.
Fair enough.
And your favorite?
Yep.
My favorite is Macintosh. I'm a big Mac fan.
Fair enough.
I give you a thumbs up on that one. Big Macintosh is respectable.
Interesting.
It is.
And every pony, Ragin Pinkie Pie is here. Ragin, introduce yourself while you have the chance.
Hey everybody, I'm Ragin Pinkie Pie, and I'm glad to actually make it. I was running a little bit late. Sorry about that.
Too much booze. All the booze.
I was driving way too fast to get here.
In your F-22A engined Honda, which no one except for me or Ragin understands what that means. But
Yeah,
that's
that
okay.
Yes, I've been. Yeah, no, I didn't get my fucking turbo beast Honda out. No,
I was going to say, what engine?
it's an F-22A1 engine that's been. It's got. I won't bore you with details.
That can
Yes.
come later
Okay.
after the podcast.
Quick thing to anyone who's listening. They love cars, and the rest of us don't love cars, so we try and
I'm a car
make
guy.
some
your
people in
problem and not ours.
Yes, terrific. All right, so Nick, moving on. Nick, next question. Yep, Alex. Hey there, man.
Yo,
Alex.
Alex.
We may
Hello?
have just lost Alex.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, okay, there you are.
Hello?
This is fantastic.
Hello?
Okay, we can hear
Your
you.
call
Hello?
quality has just gone to
Hello?
mind.
Hello?
Oh, boy.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes. Oh God.
Lord.
Okay, I don't know what happened there, but anyway, you asked me what would best represent me, a Pegasus, Unicorn, Earth Pony?
If you could pick one.
Well, if I was a Pegasus, I'd never fly. If I was a unicorn, I'd be crazy, so I guess I'd have to be an Earth Pony.
Ooh.
You don't
Yay!
get a lot of people who choose to be an Earth Pony because everyone's just like, I want to fly. I want to use magic. Honestly,
Well, I like
I would love to be a Pegasus, but
I like the down to earth. I view myself as a down to earth kind of person, so that's just how I am, and that's how I would be. I don't want my head up in the clouds.
All right, fair enough.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay, Dash. Next question. Do it.
So now we're going to move on to kind of less general questions and more, I guess, guest-specific questions. How long have you been writing for?
I've actually been writing for a long time, in a sense. 5th grade, when I first had to do a writing project, and I went overkill and wrote 3 stories instead of just 1. And as time went on, I would just write random little one-shot stories that absolutely made no sense because I was in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and stuff. I also used a typewriter, which I still use on occasion because I'm awesome like that. I'm old school. Or what's the term, hipster? Yeah, I'm hipster. That's the term. But I didn't start making things public until I joined the very small and not paid much attention to fandom of VG Cats, that's where I started writing my first fanfics. And though my writing skill wasn't the greatest, still isn't the greatest, people saw my work as interesting because I was able to tell a decent story still.
even with my flaws. And I still did things that caught people by surprise and they thought made good story. And when MLP came along, then I decided, well, this is what I was doing, so this is what I'll keep doing. Which is odd because I always wanted to do drawing. Oh well.
Did you draw your profile picture?
No, a friend of mine did that because my if you see on my what do I use that on? My film fiction is the picture of Magatosh with that face, and that used to be my Skype picture when I joined the fandom. That was my Skype picture. And I had that for almost a year, and then my friend made a small comic and put that as my OC. Had that same face. So,
all right.
Can I just say, like, I wanted to do art, and I still want to do art, but like, I can kind of see that, like, you know, fan fictions and stuff.
I can't draw.
Yep.
Yeah, Nick,
Ragin,
you're better.
Next question.
Ragin, you have echo and you are breathing a lot into your mic.
Actually, I'm not breathing at all into my mic.
It's definitely you, though. You can hear it. It's like...
But yeah. Well, all right. I'll take the next question because I feel like it, and I'm a thief. So what inspired My Little Dashie?
what did what?
What inspired it?
There wasn't much inspiration. Really, it's what happened was it's based off a comic, a very short comic done by Opposite Bros. And how it was basically birthed was I came home one night from work. I was running on 36 hours of no sleep, and I hopped on DeviantArt just to check a couple things before I went to bed. And suddenly, my friend says, "Hey, dude, check out this comic," and links it to me. I'm like, "Oh, that's cute." And I look in the first comment, says, "This needs to be made into a fanfic now." And I never remembered that guy's name, but he's the one that made me do it. So I sat there for 8 freaking hours and wrote that story. Without sleep.
He's a real man. He doesn't need sleep.
Unlike you, Ragin. Fucking lightweight.
Whatever. Bitch.
Well, I got a random question right here out of my pocket. And it says...
Out of your pocket? Is there lint all over it?
Pocket.
I don't want to touch it. There's lint all over it.
Don't worry about it. Make sure it's clean. Don't worry. It's dry clean. Have you ever written something before you start writing about ponies?
Did I do what?
Have you ever written
You cut out.
Oh, okay. Have you ever written stuff about before you drawn ponies, like different stuff, like from different fandoms, or just random writing?
So
I'm sorry, you were cutting out for me again.
Okay, well, Tommy, you go for it.
I'll go ahead and ask this one. So
you just ask the last question. Let me do it.
Oh, all right.
Hell, you know what? Let Nick ask it.
All right.
All right. I'll ask it.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, like, other than like writing about like ponies and stuff. I mean, like, what else have you written about?
Oh, that goes back to what I said before, kind of. I started with VG Cats. I was doing that. But right now, I'm really just doing MLP fanfics because I'm leading up into starting to do I want to start doing a couple original stories of my own. And the one I've been working on slowly, I haven't actually started writing it, but I did at one point, but I stopped. But it's basically a zombie apocalypse fic. And it's gonna be I'm hoping it to be like I don't really want to be an author, but I would like to write a story, and I like people to it'd be a story that everyone can read and go, wow. And this A Man in His Truck will eventually be that. It's inspired off the title A Boy and His Dog. It's a post-apocalyptic movie, and so this is a zombie apocalypse movie, like 2 weeks after, or however much after the apocalypse happens. And the story is basically about a guy trying to go from northern Georgia to northern Michigan because that's where his father is. And over the course of, which ends up being like months, he gets other people to join him and whatnot. So eventually, I hope to work on that. But pretty much, it's right now just MLP fanfics.
All right, fair enough.
That's kind of reminiscent to the comic of The Walking Dead. That is like this character that tries to go from, I believe it was from where he is in the middle of nowhere to Macon to find his family. And
yeah,
well, at the end, it basically found his whole family was dead, already turned into zombies. But if anybody of you read the Walking Dead, the main character slowly turns insane and becomes like this, you know, like all power crazy, you know, like survivalist that will do anything just to save his own skin, which is kind of like the. Are we
talking about the same thing? Are we talking about the same thing? Walking Dead? That's not The Walking Dead.
Right.
No, you haven't. Well,
that's. I read the comics. My friend's a hardcore fan of it. He buys all the comics.
Was that
doesn't sound like
Wait, there's comics?
I think there's two very popular zombie comics. There's The Walking Dead. There's another one that's always in black and white. Well, The Walking Dead is also black and white.
The Walking Dead is black and white. It's about a guy named Rick that at the beginning he gets in an accident because he's a police officer. He gets shot, and when he wakes up, it's basically in the zombie apocalypse. He goes to Georgia to find his family, and it's the story. He's not trying to save his own skin. He's trying to protect his family. He's protecting all the people and friends that he's gained throughout the story. He tries to do everything right, and just because the world hates him, he's the protagonist, everything goes wrong all the time. But he's not trying to save his own skin. That's almost never the case. He puts himself in more danger than anything to save others.
That's in the beginning. Like towards the end, he gets crazy.
Well, yeah, he is slowly going crazy. That's for sure. That he is
towards
definitely
the end,
going crazy.
Goes insane. Towards the end, he goes insane. And there's another character that I think he lost his arm and his eye, and he goes super crazy too. And he lasted for a really long portion of the whole series.
Rick loses his. Oh, spoilers! If you're still reading, Rick does lose his hand, and his son loses his eye.
Oh. Yeah, that does happen.
So his son becomes Demo Man.
Oh, what you doing there?
No, that doesn't work.
All right, so I have a random question here. Is there any author you particularly look for like inspiration when you're writing a fic?
A lot of my inspiration comes from either pictures or music.
Okay, sorry, that question was worded badly from mine. I mean, is there any author you try and sort of base your style off? Because, you know, artists sort of... Like, say, do you read Harry Potter or whatever just to get the juice...
Well, Harry Potter.
Yeah. No.
I stopped reading after the 5th book.
Yeah, I don't like...
It wasn't cool when the movies came out. It wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah.
Then they built a theme park, and now we're all fucked.
Well, I got a real quick question for Alex. After your prior success at My Little Dashie, and ultimately after that you went to BronyCon, tell us, like, you know, did people know you that you were the author, and if so, what happened?
At BronyCon, I went to BronyCon January before the shitstorm, and what happened was I just went there. No one knew I was me or anything. And during one of the panels, which I gotta mind you, I ended up getting conned into helping Purple Tinker with a bunch of with some things in the con. Not a lot, but we had to do the name tags and stuff, which I don't mind. I shouldn't say I got conned. She asked for volunteers, and I volunteered. I kind of snuck in, but so I helped out with a bunch of stuff, and we were there till it. We were there until. We were there until it pretty much was starting. So I just went into the stadium. I had been up the entire day before, the night before, not sleep. I was running on over 24 hours, no sleep. I just sat in the chair and like dozed off for 5 minutes. When I woke up, the room was full of people, and the con was starting. And so I'm just in the con throughout this thing, like kind of dying, like drooling there, like, oh. And what happens is the music guys come on, the music artists, and they're talking, and one person in the audience asks a question like, do you guys, any of you plan doing music based on any fics such as My Little Dashie? And a bunch of the guys go, oh my god, that fic was so sad. And me and my deranged mess of a disaster mentally, I stood up and said, I'm sorry, and sat down. And that's where I went.
Wow.
I'm sorry I made like millions of people cry.
So
Like, I'm sorry that everyone
It's not
just
my
like,
fault.
turns around and just gives you that one face, just like, what
Who the
did you
what?
just say?
Who the fuck are you? No.
So a few of the music artists after the panel came and hugged me and said, "Dude, you're awesome." And I said, "Thanks." I talked to a few other people, and yeah, it was interesting. TrotCon was a little better because I went there as an actual guest, even though the fic panel had 5 people in the audience, 10 maybe. It was absolute terrible, but I still had a lot more fun.
Dude, I would so be there for a fan fiction writer panel.
Cool. Be pretty cool.
Kill Stealer.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is that like the only thing that like makes me mad about like the fan fictions is that like the fan fictions themselves are more famous than like any of the songs, because like everyone who's even touched the internet side of the community like knows about My Little Dashie, they know about cupcakes, but like not everyone who just touches on the internet like knows about like the Living Tombstones Discord remix and stuff like and Party with Pinkie. But then, like, the thing is, though, is that even though the fics get recognized, the authors don't get recognized as much. And that makes me kind of mad.
Well, there is a...
Thing,
Let's go on, Alex.
I was going to say, there are authors that are more worthy of the fame than I am. My fic got popular by default and accidents. So I don't think I am kind of the author that should be. There's just much better authors out there that don't get as much as they could.
Okay, can I just say this
I'm
on what
gonna...
Dash just said? Sorry, Cinnamon. Can I just say this? Like, on the side of the artists themselves not getting as much recognition as say the fanfic does, that happens everywhere. That happens in PMVs, in art, in music, and in fanfics. Like. Let's take
No, but like
It's
the scale of them, because like the fan fictions are super famous, and like the authors are not famous at all. While like the songs.
Well, no. I object to that. Sprinkles. If you mention cupcakes, everyone thinks Sergeant Sprinkles, and you know where that train of thought goes. So he's a famous author.
Yeah,
so
and
when
there are certain exceptions to rules, but
every single thing is acknowledged, just not as much as the fic. Like, say, if you make a PMV and it gets featured on EQD, you will gain subs, but you will never gain the amount of subs as you will never gain the same amount of subs as you do likes. If a bit of music gets featured, you'll never gain the amount of subs that you do listens. Like. You have to be blown away. You have to say, that was amazing, their style was perfect. And not everyone thinks their style was good enough to want to see more of it. Sometimes they think it was a one-off. Like, I'll just take one video I made, for example. I made Dash and Shy opening. It's got 297 likes. I don't even have 297 subscribers. I've got 236. So... like, not everyone subs immediately.
Oh,
but they are acknowledged.
Like 1.5 million subscribers, but he still gets 3 million likes on his videos.
Who?
Well, can I say something real quick? There is other, like, famous... But there's an extremely famous writer that did a very controversial fic. His name is Penstroke.
Oh, Pen.
What did he write?
And he wrote the infamous Past
Sins.
Yes, Past Sins. That was the Knicks. That's where Knicks started. And basically, a quick summary of it. It was you know that Celestia that the main six turned Nightmare Moon into Princess Luna, and that evil spirit sort of manifested into itself into a physical form that was Nyx as a baby due to some random guy that, learned magic and wanted to bring Nightmare Moon sort of back to life, but separated from Luna. And again, that was the Alicorn sort of protagonist story, and that, everybody thought, oh, Mary Sue, blah, blah, blah. But it's it's more complicated than that if you actually took the time and read it. It's a massive book.
Yes.
But
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's a very massive, well done book, and if you look in there's little bits of it, like the relationship between Twilight and Nyx, how she sort of got like a motherly figure, and the bonding between them. Ultimately, when she turns to Nightmare Moon herself, but it's a different Nightmare Moon. It's not the one that we know from the show, because this one actually got a lot of things from Twilight and a lot of things from the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and this turned her into something different. And it did a lot of close calls and a lot of surprises that a lot of fanfics sort of repeat these same type of mistakes in terms of trying to convey a story. But this one did it really, really well, and it really got me on the edge of my seat pretty much all the time. That's why I managed to finish it, how big it was. But this person, in terms of fame, he got it by negativeness, bad publicity. So sometimes bad publicity is good in certain amount of degree, because everybody knows what past tense is in terms of fan fictions.
So, like the Friday song, that's got nothing but bad views.
The only reason that people don't like the stories, they're just like, oh yeah, it's another Alicorn fic dislike, because they're just like, oh well, if you have an Alicorn OC, then you're obviously just a total idiot.
Hey,
yeah,
they do their
Don't hate
best.
on them. Don't hate on them because they're trying to be gods.
No,
I'm sorry. No offense, Tommy.
What? Oh, come on, that was Minecraft.
Oh.
Anyway, my
Penn is a good author. Penn is a good author. He's a very good author. I talk to him every so often on Skype. He's an awesome guy, great author. It is the controversy around his fic. Mainly, everyone is going after Nyx because she's the Black Alicorn OC. Which, yeah, I know, and she is a little Mary Sue-ish when she's the filly. But he does give her a bit development and such. He gives her some things, but his strongest point is when there's spoilers, mind you. This is spoilers, but when she does become the full Nightmare Moon again, there is some major character development that happens that's great. So it does have its very strong moments in that fic. So it's even if you hate OCs, it is one of those fics that you should still read it just to read it. And some people have different tastes. Mine, I thought was a little too long. Some things are dragged out, but you know what? We all have our things where we screw up with fics. I do it constantly too. I probably do it worse than Penn. Penn's way better than me. So,
yeah,
it's just that thing where artists can never just like. Where artists always think that they're just like, I'm not a good artist. Come on, man. It's like, but dude, you are. I mean, like, your art is incredible, but like, I guess it's just like mostly maybe like the fear of like seeming arrogant or something. But like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways,
to anyone in the live stream chat, do any of you have questions? A moment's silence for the live stream chat questions.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
You can ask a question if you want. I don't know.
Alex, what do you think of the other spin-offs of Milo Dashi, like the continue of the story?
Ooh.
Now, this is where I might sound a little harsh, but it's just how I am. Personally, I don't like the idea of it continuing because I did not intend it to be continued. So the people that continue it, they have to have that closure. Whereas I view the story as it closed. But people have to have those happy, sappy endings. Well, fine, and let them have that. They can write them. But what it's taken me a long time to come to realize is that I actually really am honored to have people take the time to write these sequels, because it's not simply these people just going and writing this stuff. It's a lot of it are new people to the FIC community. Their first stories, they're trying to write, they're trying to learn. If they're the smart ones, they're trying to learn from this, what people tell them to do this, do that. It's their first story. And I feel a touch of honor that people are choosing my original story to use as a template in their base to start. And I really hope to see many of these people that do start become great authors in the FIC community, because they decided they were so touched by my story that they took the time and try to write their own sequel to it.
Yeah, personally, if I can throw my opinion in there about it, I was happy with it. Your story, yeah, it had a sad ending to it, but just the book, just the photo album, and just those pages were all that I needed. Then I read the other ones, I'm like, okay, let's see how good it gets. It just got, personally, it got worse and worse and worse to the fourth ending, and then I was like, okay, really? This is terrible.
Yeah, none of these things are endorsed by me. Either none of them are official, even though there's one guy saying that he's the official sequel, and another guy did the official threequel, which I never said.
I read the official shit that everybody put official on there, and I was just like, whatever, I didn't care.
I never officialized anything.
And now they're making a movie. There's actually 3 movies being made. There's one movie that's actually got cast and all that, and I'm like, oh god,
dude,
I want to see it, but
you don't have to tell me, okay? I've seen a total of probably 30 of these things start and die.
Yeah, true.
One was getting backed by Hasbro and it exploded, so nothing can surprise me anymore. Yeah, we
got some questions here in the chat already. Okay, Dashy C asked, favorite video game.
Oh, hey, Dashy C, he joins my live streams every so often. I know him. But favorite video game. Oh, Alan Wake.
Yes.
Very good game.
Yeah.
And I think pen stroke for that, because I read Creeping Darkness, which is my favorite fic. If someone's going to ask that, I'm sorry I stole that from you, but that's my favorite fic is the Creeping Darkness, which is what got me in Alan Wake. Every month I sit down and play it and beat Alan Wake every month.
It's a very good. It's a very good game. Of series overall as well.
I love it.
I'm not sure if this is a question, but I'll just say it anyway. Donkey Hottie, lol, ask, what do you think of memories of a reality jump so far?
Do I think of what?
Okay.
Memories of a reality jump. So, like, memories of a reality jump. Does that ring any bell?
No, not that I can think of. What is it supposed to be?
I'm not really so sure, but I believe it was a fic or something, but I'm not sure. We'll skip it to the next one. Chalkmaster asked,
probably plugging his
what
fiction.
was your initial response when you realized My Little Dashie got famous?
Oh my god. I was dumbstruck. I was really dumbstruck. I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know how to react, because it was so sudden. I posted it, and I left for half an hour. I came back, and it had a bunch... And I didn't even look at the views or anything at the time, but I took it down, because I was like, this is stupid. No one's going to like it. And I had rage messages saying, why'd you take it down and stuff? So I put it back up and left for most of the day. When I came back home later that evening, I had 463 messages, and I was at about 20,000 views. I hit top deviation number 12 on DeviantArt for that day.
Oh wow!
And
oh my god!
I was like, what the fuck? I was blown away. Like, and the worst part is I wore myself out. I decided to take up the challenge and respond to everyone's comments, and I did that for 1,200 goddamn comments. I answered people and responded.
Oh wow!
Oh my god!
You're a trooper.
That's a chance. Yeah. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Tis.
Pink Master of Evil asked,
Sorry.
what do you get annoyed by anti-brony hating on FIM fiction?
And what do I think about people that hate the fiction, or anti-bronies hating what? I'm trying to understand the question.
Do you get annoyed by anti-bronies hating on fan fictions?
No, it's their choice. If they don't like it, then fine.
Yeah.
But have you ever got annoyed
sir.
by anti-bronies?
No, because if they try starting shit with me, I'm like, okay, your opinion, you said it. Thank you for the input. I'll put that under my filing cabinet as I don't give a fuck, and have a nice day.
Well done.
The tolerance is strong in this one.
And,
so it's like what are you expecting me to do? Be mad? No, I don't give a shit. You can do it and feel whatever you like. If you don't like the show, fine. Why do I care?
Why are they getting all upset about it? Why do they have to go on fan fiction? You're crossing us up with all these brony shit. Blah blah blah.
It's like walking up to someone and going like, "I don't like C-SPAN."
I don't like you for no reason.
Now hear me bitch about it.
Now hear me bitch about it.
Yep. All right. You know what? I want to Pink. We kind of covered this one, so I think that does it for the questions.
Yeah, the next one is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
so
we covered your thoughts on the sequels and stuff.
No, but I got one. But this one's more. I got one last one, but this is just more like a more thought BS question. In my opinion, I see that fan fictions are sort of like the backbone for most of the community, considering that EQD, 95% of it is mostly fan fictions.
True.
What can you say? What is your thoughts on the fan fiction community today, considering that from famous fan fictions, all we get is like Follow Equestria, yours, and a bunch of others, but there are relatively few extremely famous ones. What do you think? How is the fan fiction? How's it doing in the fandom as of now?
I might sound like a bad person for saying this, but I view the fanfic community as split up into two groups: the people that just read things, enjoy it, don't give a shit about anything, and just go with it. And then there's the people that nitpick and pick at everything, and it has to be perfect. And that goes both for readers and the writers, both ways. And you can't be in the middle either. You either have to be a grammar Nazi or just not give a shit. And those two collide, and it's a bloody mess because there's a lot of trolling and a lot of rage, and everyone calling each other doo-doo head and mocking each other, and then it turns into a full shitstorm. And it's a terrible thing, but it happens a lot because I'm not really that super involved. I wish I was more involved in the fic community, but I'm not. But what I do see is mostly in comments and stories. I'm in the people that are stupid and don't care, because I'll read a story. If I see some grammar errors, I'm not going to explode. I might point them out, but most of the time they've been pointed out by other people. So I just read the story to enjoy it. I don't give a shit. As long as it's not like a troll fic like Splitters is not that bad, then I don't care.
Right.
There's just a lot of back and forth battling between those two groups, and it may sound really harsh, but you see them as the more simpler ones, and the other ones are the more logical, smart ones. And it sounds bad, but it's really not.
Just one last question before we end this segment. This one's from Shockmaster again, and he asked, are there parts of My Little Dashie that you didn't like, and if so, if you could change it?
I didn't like the story.
Really?
All of it. Shit.
Wait a second.
All of it.
What do you like about ponies? Everything.
It's not that it's about this. It's what I don't like about the fic isn't what's been done. It's what I didn't do. If I had been sane, I would have stopped myself from posting it and sat down and improved it and made it about a 5-chapter fic and given it more depth, given it more characters, more scenes between the guy and Dashi. And some people think that it's fine how it is because it gives the example of how quickly life goes by. And I can see that, but that was never the intention. I was just high on no sleep. So
no sleep drunk.
I was high on sleep, so I read the best fanfic ever written.
One of the
Welcome.
best. No.
Tommy's a total fanboy of this guy.
Oh, Lord.
A fanboy of My Little Dashi because it's the first fanfic I read.
It's one of the
and
first
hey,
things
it's
here.
It's the
Fun
first
fact,
fanfic I read, but like when I first read it, like I was only like 5 days into the community, so I didn't cry. But then when I read it again, like 2 months later, I bawled my eyes out.
I actually read it 2 weeks ago, and I cried like a little girl.
I think it was the first fic
I
that I
can't
read.
imagine
Here's
that.
a
I'm
quick
sorry.
thing.
You have
Donkey-
no idea. I'm like, yeah.
Donkey Hottie just posted this, that the memories of a reality jumper is actually a fanfic written by Danielle Gallant, and it has 32 chapters so far, and it's shipping involved. Lol. That's interesting. The more you know.
always shipping.
He's just plugging his friend.
At least it's not Klopp.
Oh, Lord.
I have
good.
because everyone thinks that I am a master genius. They ask me for help with their fics, and I always get those people that ask me to help with a fic. And every once in a while, I'm the nice person that goes, you know what? Yeah, I'll help you. Let me see it. And 99.9% of the time, they're Klopp fics. Oh, it's so
Yay! I feel
Like
like I
earlier
need to take a
today-
shower now.
like earlier today. I started reading a fic for a guy, and it's written very well, and it was nice. And then the plant pulled out tentacles on Rainbow Dash, and then I
Oh,
I
I'm in the shower now.
Actually.
Oh, I need to bathe. I feel dirty.
Hey, I should also note too. I know you.
God damn it.
You guys were talking earlier that Rainbow Dash is best pony and your favorite pony. Well, I'm gonna break your hearts because Rainbow Dash, the funny thing, is my least favorite.
Nice.
What? You?
No, Ragin, I don't want to hear it. He's allowed to have his own opinions.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
no.
what? You know what? You do have a point. I mean, okay, there's some valid points about Rainbow Dash as a character, and as a character, she's really, I'm sorry for this word, but she is really a bitch to her friends.
She's
I mean,
a bitch.
She's
if you look at
How are
if
you?
you look at almost all the episodes, she calls all of her friends names. She's very competitive. She always wants to win, even if it means losing that friendship. She's very like sort of heartless in some points, impatient even. Like you've seen how she treats Fluttershy, how she treats Twilight, making fun of her, calls her an egghead just for reading, and then she reads, and even while she was reading, she still calls her an egghead.
I hold absolutely.
Yeah, but it's
Well,
also
what?
character.
But when the chips are down, she shows who she really is, and
Yeah, she's the element of loyalty, and she's never gonna turn on her friends.
Never gonna
Spike,
give you up.
Spike,
God damn
I
it!
couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
I know it's gonna happen.
We lost all our viewers from that comment now.
Yeah. But
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
You are terrible. You shall leave.
I regret nothing. I have gone from being sorry to regretting nothing.
See, we go from this is everyday hassle with us.
What do you mean
Sounds
an
like fun.
everyday hassle? You're an asshole every day.
That's part of my nature.
Yeah, that's,
Not sure if you said
I'm
hassle
not
or
gonna have this
asshole.
argument.
No, it's hassle. I said hassle.
Oh,
I could have
Nice.
slipped an asshole in there, so haha.
oh,
All right. Okay. What's else on the menu?
oh wow.
Gasoline.
That word.
We normally we have news on the menu, but unfortunately we ran out. So
What news?
because
But
there is no
There,
news right
there
now.
is no news.
If
we don't know
we
what.
had done this, if we had done this podcast like 2 weeks earlier,
you guys
I
are
would talk
nubs.
About my
You guys are
experience at
nubs.
Free Northwest, but
How about listen here? How about you do this? Go to Quester Daily, click the news tab, and there you go. There's your news. Talk about it.
fine. Even though you don't
That's
generally
so hard.
care for what you do.
Well, I do know that that there was a supposed episode summary leak, and then Megan McCarthy just destroyed it in one tweet.
Oh.
It was really funny. There was like something about Blueberry Kingdom or something like that. Like, here, I'll read the Strawberry Elves. They apparently wrote some episode summary, and Megan McCarthy responded to that with this tweet. There are actually blueberry elves, and spoiler alert, Pinkie Pie kills them all and bakes them into cupcakes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, she destroyed them.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited for season 3. Especially for Discord.
So what do you think of the 13 episodes, Alex?
Isn't it 13 and a half? The half episode is the end. It leads into the next season. Isn't it?
No! Please tell me
that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
I hear half episode.
I could not handle like a 6-month bloody cliffhanger. No.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
You're just like, ¿por qué?
Yeah. Hey, when's Cantaloupe Gardens? Because that's going to be pretty cool. Like,
Cantaloupe Gardens is,
I like the 26th.
September 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yeah,
yes.
That.
And then literally right after that, there's Equestria LA.
And I'm gonna be at Cantaloupe Gardens, guys. You can say hi to me and shit.
Go see him.
Hey,
go give him a hug.
That's actually something I forgot to ask you. Were you at Everfree Northwest, Alex?
No.
Okay.
Everybody went except me.
Though someone told me I was, even though I didn't know I was.
Hey, you were there. No, I wasn't. Yes, you were.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, you were. I saw you.
Well, a bunch of people. I had a bunch of people saying it was like on Skype. They're like, "Hey, it was great seeing you at BronyCon." I'm like, "What?" Like, yeah, BronyCon in July. I'm like, I wasn't at BronyCon in July. So apparently, someone was there saying they were me.
Oh god.
So I made it publicly known that if you see me, the only way you'll know it's me is I'll be wearing a red and black plaid hat. That's me. If you don't see that hat, that's not me. And punch him for me.
It's an imposter.
Yes, it's a spa.
Changeling.
It's a spa.
It's a spy. That
All
dude
right.
is a spy.
Oh my god, I knew that was
wait,
coming.
you guys, hey, have any of you guys seen the Swords Filmmaker TF2 video of Scout versus the Witch?
Yes.
I did.
Oh my god.
That is
Oh,
amazing.
yeah.
That was amazing.
I have not seen that. You'll have to link it for me later.
Yeah,
Yes, I have it right
We
here so you
shall.
can watch it. Here it is.
I'm not going to
If-
spoil
Watch it on
anything.
your free time.
I'm not going to spoil anything of it, but
So-
the ending is my favorite. Anyway.
Yeah.
Moving on before we start spoiling stuff for Alex. Like, back to pretty much on the topic of Season 3, I guess. I'm actually quite excited to see what they're going to do. Because, as Shockmaster said in the chat a while back, he said that the return of Trixie and Discord, which I don't think Discord will be back. It's possible. But it,
No,
But we have
hang on.
Q.
Hang-
We have Q.
Hang on. Just let me just. This is everything we know about season 3. You know how season 1 sort of built up to the gala every now and then. Megan McCarthy has said that's what season 3 is going to do. It's going to have sort of a continuing sort of storyline, still with the on and off episode, but it's going to have a continuing storyline. Discord is coming back. Trixie is coming back. And Crystal Ponies. So I'm guessing Discord's gonna have
Where
something
are my
to do with-
sea ponies?
Wait.
Where are my sea ponies?
No.
I do want to see sea ponies, though.
Sure we do. I wouldn't mind.
When
I'm
you're
sure we
in
do.
stress, helpful
They better make
as
them look
can
cool,
be
All right,
ponies
so
when you send an
before we go
SOS.
absolutely insane here, how about I just go ahead? How about I just go ahead and get on with the news?
Hey!
Wait, we have
So now it's time for the news.
As
first
in
up,
Beauty and the Beast. Be our guest. Be our guest.
Of
So-
course.
Beauty and the
anyways,
Beast.
apparently, there's obviously not a lot because I didn't get much time. I've only got 2 things of news. Apparently, the you guys might know this, but the original character for JetBlue Airlines, is actually going to be their official mascot.
Oh yeah.
And
what? No, I want to see this.
Twitter, they are now actually searching for a name for that pony, which I think they. I don't think it's done, but it could be, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that's going to be their mascot.
I want to see the proof. The proof is in the pudding.
Otherwise known as Equestria Daily.
I'm looking. I don't see anything on Equestria Daily about it.
I just put the link into the Skype chat. Okay. Anyways,
there it is. There it is.
The other piece of news I have is that XPlay actually featured a pony mod on their on the Skyrim pony mod on the show, and well, actually, it's I got another one because it was in the same post and I just didn't realize it. But when Andrew WK went on to Conan, he actually talked about ponies.
Yep. And then
Yes,
Conan,
he does enjoy ponies.
Yep, and then Conan posted the most god-awful, unholy bastardization of God ever made. If you look at Conan's pony, it's... oh...
It's awful.
It's
It'll make
worse.
you want to cut your throat. It's that bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's just awful, son.
Wait, I have a question about the JetBlue OC. Why is there a flying blue potato on her ass?
That's a plane.
Potato?
That's a potato. What is it then?
It's a plane. I just said it was a plane.
What the fuck?
Wait,
It's a potato.
I thought it was a plane.
It's a fucking potato.
Yeah, it looks like
Guys.
a potato. I'll put that out there.
All right.
It's a potato. Everybody come up with some blue potato names.
I'll
Her name is
see.
Steve. Her name is now Steve.
What?
What the
What?
fuck?
It's Steve from now on.
All right.
Wait, yeah,
Please,
that is a
for
potato with
God's
wings.
sakes.
Why does it have a potato
Stop
with wings?
talking.
Steve. It's always going to be Steve.
Wait, what?
Blue
What?
flying potato.
What is JetBlue gonna do with this? It doesn't make any
Oh.
sense.
They're going to plaster it on the side of a
Represented
plane.
by blue potato chips.
Yay!
So it's not potato, it's potato chip!
No, why is there holes in it? That represents the little holes in potatoes. Like those
I'm
little
pretty
black
sure-
parts on the potato.
Pretty sure those
Guys.
are spots and not holes.
Guys, in a moment, I will be showing you a picture that someone linked me from a JetBlue picture. And this picture is a little old, and I don't know how it came to be. But when I saw it, because I knew about JetBlue and the OC thing, and I thought someone drew this for their competition, and I flipped my shit because I'm like, oh dear God! Just when you thought our fandom couldn't be worse, I'm gonna link it to you guys, and I want to hear your reactions.
Probably going to cry or something.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay, I was thinking about to put it onto the screen, but no. No.
That is the worst.
All right.
I can't. I have to laugh.
It looks like a dolphin.
Okay.
All right.
I have
I'm
seen
just-
I have seen very weird things before.
Very badly laugh.
This is just
That's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
everybody has their own taste. I'm just saying. And then people complain about. And then people complain about Rule 34.
We're going to hell for this.
I laughed. I laughed like a madman when I first saw this.
It looks like a dolphin to me. I don't know. It reminds me of dolphins.
It's a snake.
I don't know
jet
why.
thing. People's like, what is this? Dashy C's scared beyond belief.
Oh God, he put it in the stream.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
there in the corner. Lord Almighty.
Kill it with fire.
I
You
know
need
you
to
might be
kill
our
it.
technician and you get to do all of this, but for fuck's sake,
All right.
you did not ever
Enough,
put that.
enough about the R34 disgusting anthro weird plane thing. Let's
Tell me to stop talking.
let's
the subject here, please. This is-
Okay, I'm just gonna say this one thing here, guys. The only problem with us talking about a picture is that the people who are listening to this on iTunes will have no idea what we're talking about.
We can link it in the description.
They're the lucky ones.
They don't need to see it. Tommy just summed the entire fucking picture up with that comment he made about it.
Okay, so enough on discussing Rule 34, whatever it is. I don't want to know what it is, and we don't need to discuss what it is. Nope, we don't. Nope, shut up.
No, I'm going to say this. If you thought that Rule 34 actually had an exception, no. There is Rule 34 of planes. Nothing is safe.
I haven't
seen the kitchen sink yet.
There's
oh God!
34 of chewing gum.
Save the kitchen sink. That's the only thing that's sacred from Rule 34.
Nah.
Okay, so anyway, let's do one more topic before we close it up.
Okay, 1 second. Shockmaster just gave me the worst idea in my head about mother effing planes.
Oh my God!
I have had it with these mother effing snakes in this mother effing plane.
I'm crying.
This is all crying.
When we put this on iTunes, we have to actually link the picture in the description.
Oh my God.
You know what we're laughing about for 10 minutes.
Enough on it! I say enough!
Okay,
Tommy, chill out.
Does anyone have one interesting topic or anything at all?
Okay, let's go through the group, starting off with who do we want to start off with? Alex, let's start off with you. What are your expectations for season 3? What do you want to see more of, or what topic do you want to see explored? And let's be realistic; they're not going to go into sexuality.
Sea ponies.
Or shippings.
No. Actually, in all honesty, I want an episode, a brother-sister bonding episode between Macintosh and Apple Bloom.
Very good idea.
That's good.
Oh, I would like to see that.
Because we've seen bonding episodes with sisters, but I want them to do one with brother, and I want an Apple. I don't want Applejack and Macintosh. I want Apple Bloom because she's the younger one, and I think between her and Macintosh, that would be a very good bonding episode for a brother sister.
I agree.
Real nice.
So, is there any say background pony you want to see get put in a bit more?
I really want them to keep it how they did. Even though I thought it was awesome when they did the thing with Derpy in the one episode, I wish they hadn't. I liked her more when she was just that kind of in the background, like Where's Waldo thing, because that way it didn't make it too obvious they were shouting out to us, but you knew they were.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, thanks for that. Let's go with, say, Nick. Nick, what do you want to see more of, or what topic do you want to see explored?
Scootaloo is the first one on my list. That's for sure.
Yes. Scootaloo and Applejack.
Yeah, Scootaloo and Applejack are the first two on my list.
I thought you meant as one episode.
Well, no, both of the separate episodes then. But what I kind of...
I want a pure Applejack episode. Nothing major happening with background ponies. And just, I want it to be about Applejack. And obviously, we want a Scootaloo episode. And either A, at some point they're going to give us the origins of Scootaloo, or B, they're just going to let the fandom have fun with that.
Yeah, I'd go with the fandom.
Yeah, they're not gonna do it. They might. But they'll give it parents. I doubt they'll do Orphan. That doesn't seem.
No.
That's not.
Orphan.
That's not Megan McCarthy's kind of thing.
Orphan.
Yeah.
No, and I heard some people talking that whether they're going to do it or not, don't know. But a thing with Scootaloo that Lauren Foss had said was that Scootaloo actually has some type of disability that is going to prevent her from flying.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that interview. That's sad.
Oh.
She has pony AIDS.
You're the fat kid.
Whoa, no, bro.
Whoa, dude, that pony in the school with the fez, that pony's awesome. You do not call him fat.
There's a bunch of cookies by the door.
Though, before...
Mama. Oh, sorry. I interrupted you completely.
Though, before, like... one last thing that I kind of want to see, but I doubt I will see, is pretty much the relationship between Shirley and Big Mac. I want to see that kind of explored more into. So, like, you know, like the episode where...
As long as he doesn't D-man himself anymore.
Yeah,
You're
like,
my schmoopy whoopy doopy Call of Duty.
You're my schmoopy poo.
yeah, like that's the thing.
Schmoopy poo.
Snuggly puggly pie.
That was pretty much every high school relationship.
Oh, God.
Yes,
Just that
okay, Nick is trying to say, guys, we keep interrupting Nick.
Thanks, Alex.
Damn it, Nick.
God.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, like that's the thing. Like I don't want to see it like how the love potion went down, but an actual, pretty much an actual realistic relationship between the two. Say it either it like just kind of grows slowly with signs, kind of thing, and then they kind of announce it later, which would be pretty neat to see.
Well, you already kind of know that they are friends or have been friends because in the Hearts and Hooves Day episode, they already act and talk like they know each other. So I think there is a background to them being friends. Now whether they'd be
small town.
That too, but I just think how they act and talk with one another in the episode, though it's all usually very short and small. I think they were already like friends. I picture them as the same age era, around the same age.
I'd say that it's probably to do, if it's not the same age, it'd be just, you know, Apple Bloom is like Big Brother. Apple Bloom goes to a school, so, you know, Big Macintosh might have picked her up from school. It's not.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, don't interrupt me. It's not uncommon for a teacher to know the family. Like, my teachers know my parents and everything, and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'd be cool. And, yeah, that's my opinion on that thing. So, I guess I might as well go. What I want to see more of is, like Nick said, Scootaloo and Applejack. And if I could just get one episode where just one of the, not discorded or anything, but one of the ponies drops their element somehow, just like Rainbow Dash just isn't as loyal for one thing, just something where I want to see an episode where one pony ditches the rest, and not in the Rarity style in the sense that she's still friends with them, she just doesn't want others to know about them. I mean full-blown ditches.
Like the party of one episode with Pinkie?
No, kind of like Spike, how he wanted to go with the dragons in that one episode. Except it actually happens. Like, when Spike says, I could stay with you forever, the ponies try and intervene, and he says, no, I'm sticking with these guys. And it's really sad. And it's like, no. No. And
Spike
obviously...
Sorry.
Well, I want to see more, like, dealing with the relationship with, Scootaloo again, but more like in, you know, I just want to figure it out. None of the Pegasi in the show have any physical relatives. I mean, all the main six, like the rest of the main six, have at least one relative. You know, a brother or sister, anything. And while Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Scootaloo don't have anything whatsoever, and I find that kind of interesting. So, not sure if they're ever going to tackle it, but
the Rainbow Factory got them.
Yeah, they could just make something like that, like, oh, Rainbow Factory. But yeah, I just find it weird. The rest of
of the characters can have siblings, while these, which the only thing they have in common is that they're Pegasus. I just find it. I always find it kind of odd. And one more thing that I would like, that I would just like for them to tackle is it's a very harsh, but sort of morbid. But I would like them to tackle death.
Applejack's parents. That's where I see that right there.
Yep, I
Granny
agree.
Smith needs to die.
Not that, but I just want them to
Granny
tackle
Smith is
that.
awesome. Are you kidding me?
Kill
That,
her
I just want them
like
to
the
tackle
rest.
that.
Kill
very
her off like
delicate
the
subject.
rest.
And because there's a lot of. It's not that they had done that, because if you look at the episode of where the Community Mind Crusaders wanted to turn Big Mac and Shirley into a couple, they are singing in a funeral. So they basically pointed out that ponies are not immortal. They do get old and they die. And I just want one episode just to touch on that subject, and they can bring a lot of life lessons through that.
Dictionary. I mean,
Granny's.
sorry. Death is just death's one thing that you can do on a kid-friendly show and still keep it kid-friendly and fun for the whole family. Like, just because it's fun for the whole family doesn't mean it has to be fun all the time. Like, you can still have a sad movie that's good for everyone. Like, say, The Lion King's good for the whole family, but...
Mufasa.
Quite frankly, my...
Mufasa.
Dear Princess Celestia, today I learned that Applejack's parents died. What the fuck, girl?
Yeah, but there's always...
I was right all along.
I just want to just that subject of love and loss, which is, I always found it interesting when other cartoons do it. I can't pick I can't really say a cartoon that actually talked about it, but yeah, they're having cartoons were ballsy enough to actually go and talk about those types of subjects, and some of them were more successful than others. But I'm pretty confident that if they actually try to touch a subject, which would make a lot of sense and might clear up a bunch of stories or stuff for some characters, I highly doubt that they're ever gonna do anything like that. But it's just some crazy idea that would be cool if they did.
All right. Who we got to go through?
Can I actually say something quickly before we change the topic?
We don't have a topic to change. This is it.
What topic?
Well, whatever. If we change something, whatever. Can I just quickly put in something there?
Yep.
I think it would be a very good thing to expand on with death of a family member. Say, it would most likely be an Apple Bloom. It almost seemed like it'd be an Apple Bloom revolving episode.
Granny Smith.
Yeah, with Granny Smith. But frankly, death in the family and its effect on young kids is fairly serious, and dealing with that could help with understanding it more in a much more kid-friendly manner, instead of saying, "Son, your grandfather's dead, but what can you do?"
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Especially the kids that My Little Pony is sort of targeted towards is around that age that grandparents would die. So, grandparent death, Granny Smith, or just even touching on why it's just Granny Smith and there's no Grandpa Smith would be something good just as a lesson. You don't have to make it the saddest episode ever. She doesn't have to be hit by a car while trying to take a bullet for JFK or whatever. Just
What?
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the most tragic death ever. It's just
Wow, bringing the JFK death. How funny.
Well, what if
touching
Granny
at the
Smith
same
didn't
time.
take?
How insensitive,
In Texas, no.
He got his
so insensitive.
brains blown out.
Hey,
That is offensive to
That's
JFK fans everywhere.
JFK fans.
I'm a JFK fan. Yeah.
JFK for life.
JFK Granny Smith.
But you know what? It would be interesting if if in one episode they would just find a diary of Applejack's parents, and we could learn a little bit more about them and what happened to them. Just like in Hey Arnold, the last episode of Hey Arnold was that a diary of Arnold's parents, and I for one thought that was like brilliant.
I remember that.
I do too, sadly.
All right.
That was the saddest episode ever, and it was great because it basically told you, like, it explained basically everything that was going on with Arnold and his character, and it told you why he is that way, and it was amazing. I think it was a two-parter, if I recall, and they can do that. They can just do, like, maybe a diary or something, because the parents have to leave something behind. I mean, where did Applejack got that hat?
From the hat store?
Some random guy just threw it at her.
It could be her dad's. You don't know. You don't know. You're not God. I'm a Christian. Whew.
Alicorns are gods.
Oh, let's not get into the religious talk now.
Oh shit.
Yeah. All right.
Before we go into that,
If we do that, everyone's gonna hate my guts.
But we don't hate your guts.
We will. What do you reckon? Time to wrap things up?
1 sec. Actually, I kind of wanted, before we wrap things up, I want to see Shock's question, because he said he wanted one more question.
Go ahead, Shock.
Well, like, I'm just waiting on it now, so.
Go, Shock. Go, Shock.
I think he said this is what he goes. What did Rob like better, My Little Dashie or Dreaming with Ponies?
Oh yeah, now I see it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I actually like the Dreaming with Ponies because I actually sat down and worked hard on that fic.
Wasn't like that one late night sit down and write kind of thing?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that one still wasn't even that great, but I'm at least learning, so.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever go back to My Little Dashie, though, and, like, fix it up? And, like, do a version 2 of it?
If it hadn't been gotten so popular, I would have. But it's so popular as it is now, I see I would be more harm in fixing it and changing it than would be worth.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Computer-generated My Little Dashie, now featuring Jar Jar Binks.
Milo Dashie is so odd.
Misa want to ruin your movie.
I'll say Milo Dashie is like that old 80s Chevrolet you see driving down the road that's rotted out and flopping in the breeze, but it's still going.
It's a trooper.
And it looks cool, too.
And it still looks cool, yeah. But it misses here and there.
I have like the perfect comparison. The other day I saw a 1972 Ford Mustang on the highway. It was covered in rust everywhere. It had no hood, it had no trunk cover, and it was missing its right door, and it was also on one spare tire. But god damn it, it was still going. Oh, and it was also steaming out of the engine.
Nice.
That's great. That is great. That reminds me of Tommy Boy when they're driving the old what was that car they drove in that? I forget. Shit. Now I feel stupid. I used to know what the car was. Was it an Impala? No. Shit. Hold on. Google. But have you guys ever seen Tommy Boy?
I would immediately tell you. Yeah, give me a link to the car.
I'm trying to find it. Plymouth. The Plymouth.
Plymouth made okay cars until they made a Plymouth Neon.
Fuck the Plymouth Neon!
I hate those pieces of shit neons.
Okay, Ragin, wait, no, before we start talking about cars, let's save that until after the podcast.
Yes, exactly. Just okay. I'd say two more questions, so it's on. Alright, first one's from Dashie C. Does Rob, do you watch it for the plot?
Watch it for the plot. I watch for all the plot.
Every plot is good plot. Including dragon plot. What?
Wait, we're talking about the story, right?
Stop now, please.
Yes.
No, we are not talking about the story. We are talking about them pony asses.
Them ass girl.
Yeah, let me make it clear for you. We are talking about pony butt.
Pony butt.
Absolutely. Sure.
I thought we were talking about their shoes. Okay.
Moving
At least
on.
I'm on
What's
the
the
same
last
page.
question?
Their shoes. Nick. You're killing
What's the
me.
last question? Come
Yeah,
on.
last question.
Pull it out of your ass. Do
All
something.
right, do you want me to say it? All right.
Yes.
Rob, have you ever heard of World of Warcraft? Really? Have you ever heard of Warcraft? Sorry. Have you ever heard of World of Warcraft or wrote a fanfic about it?
I played World of Warcraft for 1 year. I was hardcore because I played it on dial-up like a boss.
That is
And
so
then
long.
and then Burning Crusade came out and they forced me to download it, and then my computer wouldn't work. It wouldn't work, so I told them to fuck off and I quit playing. So no, that's what I did. I called them. I said, so you guys made me download an update that I didn't want and I can't pay for, and it can't run because I'm on dial-up and it won't let my thing run. And so you're telling me I have to pay $40 to continue playing? Yeah. Okay. Fuck you. Have a nice day. And hung up. I quit.
On that
All right.
note,
So with that question answered, it's time to wrap up this first episode of the CloudsDale Cafe podcast. Everybody, I have been your host.
Winter wrap up.
Finish up.
Few more months. Few more months.
I've been your host, CallMeDash, and your co-hosts for this evening have been Tommy,
hello.
Nick, Ragin, Cinnamon, and your guest this week has been ROBcake53, also known as Alex.
Yes, and also someone else is in here. Dova Bear, Technic Shadow. Ha ha ha.
La 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 la. Rafflecopter.
Wait a minute.
Alright.
One moment. Shadow Dash is Dova Bear.
Okay,
I'm going to have
no,
a
stop,
word with
stop.
him after
Just-
this. I'm going to have
alright.
a word with him after this.
Alright,
Anyways,
cut it off, Nick.
Alright.
Actually, stay in tune for our Left 4 Dead game. Actually,
we're not playing Left 4 Dead, are we?
I thought we always play Left 4 Dead, or is it Man vs. Machine tonight?
Yeah, we're doing MVM tonight.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll figure that out.
Stay
Anyway,
tuned, you guys. More to come after the break.
10 minutes.
Go
alright.
get some food.
Well, it might be
Go
more
take
than
a
10
shit.
minutes.
Do something.
Yeah. Whatever. Break time. Come back for gaming if you'd like. Take care.
Okay, bye.